Okay, as you can see from the time lapse, the multiple time lapses, I got it all blocked. Some of it I didn't time lapse just because my phone was starting to die, but it's all blocked, all sanded. There's a few places I should have did it before this last primer, but I actually forgot. But most of the time, these Foxbodies, the seam sealer starts cracking over the years, and it's best just to dig the old stuff out because it actually fall out, and then put new back. So I dug it all out on both sides. I'm going to put new back in. Down here at the bottom is cracked a few spots. I'm going to seam seal them. The other side where the quarter had been put in don't have any seam sealer, so I'm going to seam seal it too. I've got it all sanded down, the jams and everything. The engine bay, I didn't do any of the engine bay. I didn't put the tube front end or anything on like that. They got rid of that pinch weld, sort of. The owner was happy with the way the engine bay is. I'm not going to really pick it to death and talk about everything that I see issues with. I wasn't going to touch it at all, but there were so many runs on these bars. You can see in the time lapse of me sanding them. I just couldn't let that go. I didn't want to be accused of any of the runs. There were so many on there, so I sanded all of them off. They were dripping on the bottom sides of the tubes. There's a few runs in the back that I've sanded flat, but like I said, I'm not going to pick it to death. The owner's happy with the way it is, and it should still look all right. So it's the engine bay. Some people don't worry too much with the engine bay. I kind of try and treat it as just like the outside of the car. Try and get it the best I can. But what I was going to go over before I start doing it is, like I said, I'm gonna, where I got everything blocked, I've got the DA. No, it's a fine orbit DA. Can't remember what it actually, the orbit is. 3/32. So it's nice and fine. And then I put the intermediate pad on there. It's real soft. And then 600 grit. And all I'll do is run over everything that's flat with that. Just like I've said before, I don't know if it's necessary, but I do like to run over it, and just if any 400 scratches while I was sanding, if any little buildup of dust caused a little bit deeper of a scratch or anything like that, maybe this 600 will feather that out, and you won't be able to see it once it's painted. Just kind of extra insurance in my head that I see necessary to do. Other people may not do it or think it's a waste of time, but that's what I do, and that's what I'm going to do. And after I run over everything flat with that, the body itself will be ready for paint. It's raining right now, so I'm not going to be pulling it out. I'll be getting these doors ready and start on the insides of the jams on them, getting them ready to paint. But tomorrow, it's not supposed to rain. I'll blow it out real good outside and get it over into the booth and start getting it taped up for color tomorrow. As of now, that's where we're at. Okay, I've been working on the doors. I got this door. I'm not going to worry about all in here. I'm going to tape it up to where just past where the door panel will sit, and everything else will be painted, but not the inside. Save from taping up all the holes, I'll just tape up the whole inner door structure. Took these pins out with the hinges because they wore out, and somebody just packed them full of grease. Like, I don't see the reason of putting all the grease in it. I mean, the bushings was wore out. The grease wasn't going to help a damn thing, but they got grease everywhere. So I haven't sanded this yet. I had to run out and get some brake clean. I was out, so I'm going to clean all that up, and then sand this end right here, and then rest of the door be ready to flip over and sand the outside of the door. And I started on this one, got the pins and bushings out on this one. They've already been changed before, but it's going to need an oversized bushing because this bottom hole here is a little bit too big for the standard bushing. And I wanted to mention the reason, just like the jams over there on the car, the seam sealer, I told you I knock it out and redo them because they crack and they'll actually fall out. The same thing with the door edges. Normally there's seam sealer out through here, and you can see that there's primer here, and in places, that's places that it's already been missing, already fell off, and then the seam sealer actually causes it to rust. So that's one reason I knock it all out. Take you a straight flathead screwdriver and then rake it down through there. Tap it with a little bit of a little hammer, and it'll pop right out 90% of the time. You see, it started to try and rust here. If I was just to left that and painted it, it would have just caused problems down the road. So knock it all out, and same with this one. It wasn't rusting or anything, but all of it was cracked up and hard and fell right out with hitting it with a screwdriver. So cleaned all that out. I still got to sand the inner jamb on this door. I'm hoping this ain't spray paint, because if they spray painted it, and what I put on top of it may just start lifting it. I don't know why the jambs was painted black, but hoping it's not spray paint. I tried to get the majority of it off so it don't cause problems. But that's where I'm at on it. I've put the new seam seal in the jambs on the car down at the bottom and over on the other side. Seam sealed it along the bottom down there. So the body of the car is ready to paint. Just tape it up and ready to paint, and we're gonna get the doors, keep working on the doors and have them ready before long. I'm sorry if it's loud in here. I got the heaters going, the fans going, everything. I haven't been filming because my battery's real low on my phone. but I've got 2 coats. I got a coat of sealer on, 2 coats of color on, and 2 coats of clear on. Customer paid for the clear and the base out of, you know, it wasn't included in the estimate of doing the job. He took it on himself to pay for the material. He wants 3 coats of clear. I normally put 2 coats of clear on my work, but he has plans on buffing it, I believe, and he wants 3 coats put on it. Well, he bought the extra clear, so I'm going to go ahead and put it all on there. As you can see, there's still trash getting in. I still haven't caulked all the places and everything in the booth here, so I'm still getting trash in it, but I gotta get the jobs done. He plans on buffing it anyway, so trash isn't gonna matter too much, especially with 3 coats of clear. It's definitely gonna be able to be buffed out. Right? You can see how straight the car is. Pretty color. It's a Honda color. Very pretty blue. But I'm letting it tack up right now, and I'm going to put one last coat of clear on it. Remember how bad this quarter looked when it came to the shop? Nice body line, nice and straight. This clear that he bought, I've never used it before, but I do like it. It sprays really nice. I'll show you what kind it is. Looks like it's staying about 64 degrees in here with the heat running. I won't stay over here very long because the heater's real loud. But this is the clear 2-can. It's a high solids clear. Mixes 2 to 1. All right, I'm gonna put the last coat on. I apologize if the heater is too loud, but I've got the doors, they're ready to be painted. Blocked them with 400, sanded all the edges and everything. Got the window frames, they're all sanded. The inside the door jambs and everything, they're ready. I went over with 600. Just like I showed you with the car, the intermediate pad soft. So they're ready to be painted. I'm going to bring them over into the booth. I'm going to set up the hatch over here, sand it, get it ready, and the fenders, hopefully knock them out today. I'll show you the car's dried overnight and everything. I'll show you what it looks like. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the clear that I put on this car, I've never used before. I am going to put in what kind of clear it is in the video. I may have already inserted it, but I liked it. I like it pretty good. It's got a nice shine to it. Sprayed really nice. I'm used to spraying De Beers clear. That's what's on my Cobra. See, this color is really nice. This thing, it should buff out really good. You can see a few pieces of trash. Not a few, I mean, it's still getting trash in it, which I haven't caulked all the seams or anything like that yet, but all of it should buff out really nice. He wanted me to put 3 coats of clear on it, so there should be plenty of clear to buff it. There's not much orange peel, so there's not going to be a lot of cutting, just knocking the little pieces of trash that got in it out, and should be good to go. The engine bay looks really nice. I really like this color, which of course I'm a fan of blue anyway. You remember the work I had to do on this cow over here. You can see how straight it is. It's real nice. A couple little pieces of trash, like I said, that'll all buff out. Top is all nice and flat and straight, and this clear, it's pretty affordable compared to your others. It's not the most expensive, and it's not the cheapest either. But I'm probably going to start using it on all my jobs. I really like it. It's a little bit cheaper than the De Beers clear that I normally put on these type of jobs. Yeah, pretty happy with the body so far. Get the doors sprayed and hung, and the hatch hung, and then he can come pick the car up while I'm doing the bumpers and rest of the pieces. So I've got the hatch over here, and I know I talked about on the jams of the door jams of the body and the jams of the doors, how the seam sealer does from the factory, and how I had cleaned all them out. Well, I didn't show you before, and I'll show you on this hatch because it's the same way on there. But as you can see how it's already missing. See how they crack like this right here? You take this screwdriver and with a hammer, you can just chip them away just like that right there. So if I was to just leave these alone, you know, as easily as these chip away, that if I just paint over what's there, that it's more likely that they're going to fall out and leave bare places in your paint job. And as you can see how it's trying to rust where the seam sealer's coming out like that. So like I said, what I do is I'll knock all this seam sealer out around the edges and then sand it real good, and when I'm all done, I'll put new seam sealer down through it and it'll be a lot better. There's a good spot of rust right there, but I'll go through here and knock all these out. You see it just pops away real easy. So that's one thing you need to look out for, because that's just going to cause you issues down the road if you leave it like this. off here. I got the latches installed for the door, so it's not propped up anymore. Holds it nice and tight. I finished up sanding one of the fenders, put it over there with in the booth. This one still needs to be blocked and sanded. Brad and the boys, the ones that put the door in, they're gonna come and put me a ceiling in the next couple weeks, hopefully. It's gonna be metal. I'm gonna blow insulation up there because I'm losing a lot of heat right now, and I can't afford to fill these heaters up every day running diesel. Sorry about that. But yeah, he's gonna do that, and holidays coming up, so we're gonna work around that stuff. But I'm gonna end the video here. If you're still watching, give me a like, share it. That way I can grow the channel some, and be sure to tell everybody to subscribe to it.